As you say, Brett, what could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Welcome back to the Therapy Unzipped podcast, where we talk about all things mental and emotional health, behavioral health sometimes, and sometimes the odd, weird stuff comes up. And so,
Right,
tell me about you and your week. Like, what's been some, reoccurring themes that have shown up for you and maybe the
right.
clients that you serve?
Yeah, it's been a interesting week. Had a couple of days off last week and got jumped right back into it for the week. And what is presenting? I mean, kind of some new beginnings, like spring, where it's like bumping into summer, and people are ready for some new stuff. So, really, people talking about goal setting, new planning. I'm tired of this. I really want to make some
Mhm.
changes with that. And it's, Tom, as
Yeah.
we know as therapists, we love that kind of, oh,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
you ready to do something different? Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness.
I do.
You've
Yeah.
been feeling
Listen.
horrible for 10 years and you've been doing the same thing and you don't know why and now you're ready to do something different. Huzzah!
Spring 2026. Let's get it.
All right.
Well,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, what do you think? What, yeah,
Spring has sprung, and you know what? I'm seeing some of that come about too, where people are
yeah,
like, I've gotta, and I think maybe it's a product. I could be off. Could be a product of there's so much shit out there that is out of my control. And you
right,
know what? It's just like theater of the absurd. And
right,
I gotta redirect the focus on me. I mean, we've been talking about that for eons anyway. But I
right.
think when you finally get to a point where it's like, really, this shit's crazy out there.
Yeah,
So you know what? I'm just gonna be in my own little bubble. And then when
yeah,
you start focusing on the things that are around you in your bubble, you're like, hey, I can actually like make some better choices. I can actually work on some of my goals now. I don't have to focus on what's going
right,
on out there because it's too devastating. So I'm
right.
just focus on what's going on in here and around
Yeah,
me. And you know what? That's a great place to be. Let's capitalize on that and let's make some
right.
good stuff happen, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it starts with goal planning. Like, what is your long-term goal? And I love using the whole rating system. What is your goal? Like, at the end of this journey, what is it that you want? Where is it you want to be? It's always the process. I love it's not, people say it's not the outcome, it's the journey.
Yeah.
And I say it's even deeper than that. It's not just the journey, it's who you become on that journey,
Mm.
right? Because we learn great lessons during the journey. Like, okay, my goal is to drive from Florida to California, right? And
Yeah.
California is the goal. And the journey, so we get to see all kinds of beautiful architecture and different towns and different the red rocks, and we get to see all, and that people say, so it's the journey about driving from Florida to California. And I
Mhm.
say that is true, and comma, it's also who we become. What do we learn about ourselves with looking at
Yeah.
all that architecture? How does that influence us in the future? How is that going to impact me about changing the way that I take perspective of the world,
Mhm.
to just stop and enjoy and smell the roses and stop along the way to find the good things.
Because look at all the things you got to experience along the way. You
Hmm.
may get there to California and find out that Wally World is closed.
Bum 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 bum.
But what
What?
about all the experiences and adversities you faced along the way that made you potentially a better, stronger, more resilient individual?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's not just the journey, but who you become and how the journey shapes you into the future. So I love
Right.
that. And it starts with that goal setting. Like, okay, so California is the 10, right? And I'm in Florida, so I'm at a 1, right? I'm just because
Hmm.
I love putting things on scales. You know, um so I'm at a 1 right now. What do I got to do to get to a 2? Because
Yeah.
10 is, if I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to drive 4,000 miles, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I think I need some beef jerky.
Yeah.
You
Road
know,
snacks.
right? And some peanut M&Ms and something like that,
Yeah.
and a big old a big gulp so that I got somewhere to pee when there's not.
Mhm.
Never mind. But anyway,
I like a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper.
right? But that whole journey starts with the goal is always a 10, right? This is where I want to get. But I'm at a 1 right now. What do I got to do to get to a 2? Just start moving the needle, start engaging in some successes, start moving the needle, oh my gosh, I can smell the roses again. This is
Mhm.
kind of cool. So how do I get to a 2? And I, talk with people about listing out their steps. What are the 1 or 2 or 3 things you can do to get from a 1 to a 2? All right, get that down. All right, make those habits in your life. Now let's get from a 2 to a 3 because goal setting from a 1 to a 10 gets ominous.
Yeah.
But we can all take small, and every journey is just small steps to get there.
Yeah. I remember doing this challenge years ago, and it was when I had started to learn the kettlebell. Now, of course, you've known me with kettlebells over the years, and
Uh,
I've really come to love them as a training tool. And when I was first starting with them, the primary move, like the first move that everybody learns, that all things sort of emanate from, is learning how to do the kettlebell swing and to do the hip hinge type of, movement and explosively. It's kind of a ballistic movement, like you're pendulum swinging this kettlebell, and you've got to have really good form, and you got to contract certain muscles, and use your abs and your glutes and not the lower back so much. Anyway, and so I did this challenge, and it was 300 swings a day
wow.
for 30 days.
Oh my gosh.
And it killed. And of course, you decide on what flavor of bell you're going to use. You decide on the weight of the bell, and I
Right.
decided 32 kilogram kettlebell, which 71 pounds or so.
Right.
And so and I successfully did it. You don't have to do them all in a row. You can do them, break them up in sets. You could do them some in the morning, some at lunchtime, some in the evening, whatever. And I got through it, and like I said, it was brutal, but I learned a lot. And it wasn't just accumulating that number of
Mm,
30,000 swings. It had nothing to do with that. It was about trying to make each swing better than the last one, focusing on the form, getting in the rhythm of it, proper body mechanics and all that. And doing that many swings, I learned how to swing that damn kettlebell. And it's heavy. And I tell you
it's
what, 32 kilogram kettlebell does not get any lighter.
yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then I remember I show up one day and you got a 200-pound kettlebell sitting there. And I was like, what the hell is that?
What?
I'm not,
What do you do?
I had to walk around. I'm giving it space, right? I had to give it deference. I'm not even getting near that thing.
Right. Yeah. It
This is
had an
gonna
energy
come
that was emanating off of it then.
out. It was like a ancient burial tomb from the Brady Bunch, right? It was the
Yeah.
bad mojo, the bad
It had
juice.
its own gravitational pull.
I don't know what that is, but I'm not getting anywhere near it. No, kettlebells,
If if you do something for 10,000 hours, I think you can consider yourself a master at whatever that thing is.
right?
You know?
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, that kettlebell challenge. And then we started that, I think was that last year? You challenged to 100 kettlebell swings a day, every day
Yeah.
for 365. And I would say I was definitely 300 plus. I didn't get every single day, but I was about 300 days. So,
Yeah. And you learn a lot about
uh,
yourself during that journey, as you said at the beginning. That it's not about, hitting that certain number each day or about the cumulative effect on it. It's what you learn about yourself
mm,
along the way, and some strength gains, some endurance gains, some flexibility. There's
mm,
a kind of a what the hell effect from the kettlebell
right.
swinging that thing. Pretty amazing tool.
I remember after the 100 a day kettlebell swing challenge for the year, it was like day 3 or 4 or something. And I was out to dinner with some friends and we're sitting there, ba-ba-dee, ba-da. and I had to get up and go to the bathroom. I almost couldn't get out of the chair because,
Yeah.
those muscles were sore. I had
Oh,
to
yeah.
like really plan about how I was going to stand up there. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "What's the matter with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like Tom's damn kettlebells have tried to
Some,
get me again."
right. And so if you guys out there who are listening, we love that you are here and listening. It's not about doing kettlebell swings, of
No.
course. This is a deeper explanation. I'm sure you already got that. That whatever that thing is, start working on it,
Mhm.
and don't worry about what's going to happen after day one or day seven or even day 30. You just focus on being consistent each day, on working towards your goals, and enjoy the leveling up that occurs as part of the process. There's so
Yep.
much more value in what you learn about yourself and the world around you as you engage in these challenges along the way without worrying about the end result. That'll come. You set
Hmm.
that, and then you just do what you need to do today to get closer to that goal. Oftentimes, people don't see the results right away or the expectations that they want to see happen, and so they just give up and they don't do that thing. And so when you said in January, here it is almost May, you said in January, I'm going to start a fitness routine or whatever. Then you did it for 2 weeks and then you didn't see any weight loss or any strength gains, and so you stopped doing it. Now, being almost, well, the end of April, almost the beginning of May, if you had continuously and consistently done something exercise wise, let's say for this year, like imagine how you would feel about yourself or what you would look like if you just
Hmm.
stuck to it.
Right.
But you didn't, and you're the same version of yourself, maybe chubbier, right? Because you didn't do anything. Then
Right.
you were in January.
Yeah. Yeah. And people get stuck on that goal, right? Like they spend so much time, developing the 10, what's my end goal? And my thought is the end goal is not that important because the goal could change. Just
Yeah.
start down a path. You can always change paths, but at least you continue to walk,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know? I don't care what your plan is, have a plan. Plan can always change, but start
Yeah.
somewhere.
Absolutely. And oftentimes, don't goals change over
Mhm.
time?
Absolutely.
As you get into it, you start to assess that I need to tweak the goal a little bit. So, but
Right.
you just remain consistent. You know what? Here's a wild proposition for you, Brett, and those out there. Do you even need a goal?
Mm.
Like,
No.
could you just do healthy stuff now and like
Right.
see what happens in 90 days?
Right. Yeah, for sure. You
Like,
know,
like what if you decide to go for a 20 to 40-minute walk every day?
hmm
And the goal might not be health or weight loss or anything, or even like just to have that time for yourself, or to even listen to, podcast and teach yourself Spanish. It could be I'm just gonna do this and like I'm gonna see what happens after 3 months.
all right. Absolutely.
Could be an experiment.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you
And
might find what you think was going to happen
hmm
isn't, and you've gained new skills and understanding. You're like, man, I loved having that 20 minutes just out in nature outside to myself to not even have to think about anything. That
hmm
was meditative for me, just taking that 20 to 40-minute walk.
hmm Yeah.
Anyway,
When we talk about goal setting, people say, I just don't have time. I'm so busy. I don't have time to do any of that. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me see your phone. Let me check your screen time.
yeah.
Don't touch my phone. Okay. Because I'm sure I could find 20 minutes or 30 minutes, let's look at that screen time. You find
Right.
time to do the things that you want to do. So
Hmm.
I'm sure we can find a few minutes to do the things that you should be doing.
Yeah. Isn't that, I mean, I've done it too. We always go to that. I don't have the time, to engage
Right.
in whatever thing
Hmm.
is. But if it's important to you, you will prioritize it. You'll find time somewhere.
Uh-huh. For sure.
And to your point, how much time is wasted scrolling
Uh-huh.
where that time could be spent? I don't know, you're going to say, well, I only do it like 2 minutes. No, you don't. I guarantee you, you're on that freaking thing 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes hours at a time.
In the words of Elf, you sit on a throne of lies.
You sit on a throne. You smell like beef and cheese.
You're not Santa. You smell like beef. Sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah. So it's important to, well, just do some good stuff, healthy stuff for yourself. Make some healthier choices for your day. And if you choose to set some goals and start working towards them, then please do that. Take advantage of this time. No time like the present,
Hmm.
right?
For sure.
One day or day one.
Exactly. But Tom, we got to wait till Monday. We got to start all bad things on Monday. Not bad things, but we got to start all habits on Monday. No, you
Okay.
don't. Today's a great day.
Yeah,
That's so funny. I'll do it on Monday.
right. You know what? You've done this, I know for sure. I've done this, and a few of you out there can relate to this. Maybe you didn't go to the gym and you said, I'm going to start a gym program or whatever. I'm going to start doing this thing. And you know what? Today, I'm going to do something regarding that. And, I don't want to get dressed and go to the gym, but you do some like squats and push-ups for like 5 or 10 minutes. You've
Mm-hmm.
done something, and that's
Right.
something to be proud about. Just do
Absolutely.
some small things right now, even if it's not the I'm going to go to a gym for an hour and take a fitness class,
Hmm.
or sign up for Pilates and then go to it. Just do something light right now, something that you can, like I said, be proud of yourself for. You
Hmm.
signing up for the class is not that small thing. I mean, that's a good start. However, like just because you
Hmm.
signed up for the Pilates class or just because you bought that book on how to learn French doesn't mean that that's it, right?
Right. Taking those first steps and planning. And it's just funny how people start to do this stuff in the spring. They do it all year round, but it's New Year's and then spring. It's like we do these New Year's resolutions that don't kind of pan out, and then we're like, okay, spring's coming. I gotta have to get into a bathing suit soon. Oh my God.
I gotta have the hot girl summer, right?
All right. And then, they start Googling, how do I lose 20 pounds in 30 days? Ugh, okay.
Yeah, right. It won't be on the cookie diet.
Be on the cookie diet. Mm,
So we embrace the fact that spring has sprung and there's
right.
rejuvenation and renewed sense of hope, and the weather is nicer and people are getting outside more, and this feels good and more sunshine, and you're getting ready for the summertime. Maybe you're going to be out of school. Maybe you're going to take a vacation or what have you. Let's capitalize that and do some really good, healthy things for ourselves. And don't worry about the end result. You just focus on the journey, the climb, the process of you going through it and the things that you learn about yourself along the way. Such an amazing thing.
And it all leads back to the famous joke, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Take small
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
Small
So,
step, one at a time.
what small steps are you going to do?
Mm,
Send in what you're going to start working on right now. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to read about it on the show. Let's be inspirational for each other. It's not just about us, it's about you, our listeners out there, and what you need and what you want. So please send in your questions, your comments, those small steps that you're going to be taking towards your goals so that you can be an even better, an even stronger, a more resilient version of yourself.
mhm.
That's
And
good.
an accountability partner is always helpful. As Tom, you and I worked out every morning for years and years and years. And we did it every day, whether we wanted to or not. I mean, there was mornings where we're like, are you kidding me? I can't believe we are out here right now. Right. And we did it because I wouldn't just stand you up and you just wouldn't stand me up, and that's just how it was. So
Yep.
if you need an accountability partner, hey, email us once a week. My goal was walking 5 days a week, and last week I did it 4 days. So we
Yeah.
can be your accountability partner. Let us know. Let us know how we can help.
Absolutely. Takes a community, takes a village. Let's be
Mhm.
there for each other.
Sounds
And
great.
I got to I've had a little bit of a break for about 2 weeks with the lifting. I've been doing like weight vest walks
Mhm.
and try to boost up a little bit of cardio. And then there was a week, you may have heard it on the last show. For those of you who listened, I was recovering from some, I call it the fungus among us because it seems like everybody in my world had this respiratory chest thing. And so I was stricken with the fungus among us. And I was recovering from that. So I was just doing these light walks and not doing anything too heavy. And that was nice because I still got out there and still, still got the
Mhm.
sweat and still felt like I was doing something. And then today was like the first day. Yeah, I felt pretty good most of this week, but today was like the first day that I did the walk like I've been doing. So I just solely been walking with a weight vest, not
Good.
doing any lifting for like 2 weeks. Today was
Hmm.
like first day. I was like, I feel like I could lift today, but I found myself throwing on my sneaks and putting the weight vest on and just because it was easier, right? And I went for the walk and usually do 2.5 miles or so. And I got through 2 laps and I was just like, I'm gonna go lift. By golly gee. And so I ripped that weight vest off and I put on my weightlifting shoes and my knee sleeves, and I threw weight on the bar, bench, squat. I didn't do the deadlift, but I did farmers walks,
Hmm.
and I upped the weight each rep. Did 5 sets. Those 3 exercises, man, it felt great.
There you go.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But
You
it
know,
was like I'm already walking. I should just finish the walk, right? No, you could like
yeah.
just stop. It's a
Right.
circle. You walk by your house.
Right.
You could just stop and open the garage and just go lift, dude. And so I did. It was awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Small steps. Just to
Mhm.
start somewhere. Just start going. And small
Yeah.
changes lead to bigger changes, lead to bigger changes.
So I am grateful for you and your little small steps on you leveling up and being an even more amazing individual than you already are.
Gee shucks, ma'am. You're
Hmm.
making me blush. I appreciate
And
you, Tom. Yeah, absolutely.
thank you. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Hope all you out there have an amazing weekend. Send
Absolutely.
in your stuff to us, questions at therapyonzip.com, and we'll see you next week. Any words, final parting words of wisdom?
Happy Friday. You made it. See, you didn't think you were going to make it through this week, and you did it. You're amazing. You did more than you thought you could. You didn't murder anybody this week. So, hey, you get a gold star. You didn't
Love it.
slap that crazy woman at work. So, look at you. You're a rock star.
You're a rock star. Thank you for that. And you guys take care, and we'll see you soon.
Mhm. All right. Thanks, Tom.